as the gardening year kind of pushes forward, and I mean like peak growing and working season, there are some projects that really intimidate me. And currently, this one here, my wisteria project, is the one. This is the one that I've been putting off until the last minute, and well, it's definitely no longer prime time to deal with this thing. So this is a wisteria that I purchased on eBay. I want to say 5 years ago, and I kept it in a pot for a year or two, and then eventually I settled it in over here, and the goal was to grow it onto the house. Now, I love to grow plants onto structures, kind of adds to the structures to me, and that's all good and fine, but I have a real bad habit of planting things. I'm great at planting things. I am not good at planning for how large and insane those things can get. Case in point. So, I have a lot of work to do on this wisteria, and I want to talk to y'all about what I'm planning to do, how I'm going to do it, and show you what I do if I can. I've been having such crazy anxiety about this project because it's pretty bad. It's gotten, and it's, you'll see. So this is me telling myself, okay, start somewhere, just get it going. Doesn't matter if you finish it all in one day, but I've got to start. So for one, let me show y'all. I'm gonna try to, I can't make this whole thing a one take video, but I can do a lot in one take for the opening at least. So what I want to show y'all here at least is the trunk to some degree. So this wisteria died to the ground in its first year, in its first winter, or back to the graft. It's actually a grafted one. And what I did when it came back up was I braided the little trunks together, and then they kind of went in their own direction. I put a cable here just over the, let's see if y'all can see this. Not really, but going from the fence here to the house, there's a cable, and that's secured to the brick on the house. And this makes a really wonderful little walkway, to enter the garden in this area. But there are a few problems, and those are what I'm going to be addressing. Number one, it's a bit too low. You see I'm standing up in it, and I gotta really duck, and any guests I have to really duck to get into the garden through here, which is not too horrible. But the other problem is it's growing through the fence. So let me show you what that looks like. May have to lower the tripod actually. So as you can see, there we go. Perfect. That's a really great way to see the structure of this too. So I've got my trunk, and then there are a few points at which it came through the chain link fence. Now I'm going to tell you what I plan to do, and then hopefully I can get to it at some point. So my plan here is to take this pole here and pull it back that way so that I can unweave the chain link, and then I believe there's enough leeway that they haven't completely eaten the chain link yet, but they're getting close. But I believe I still have enough time now to unweave this, pull these branches out, and then get them over the top of the chain link fence. And then after that, my next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lift the whole thing upwards. I'm just going to take my cable off. I'm going to put some kind of a support structure up to lift this whole piece back and raise the height. And then I'm going to secure it to the house in a more dignified way for the house, because let me just give you one example of what this is looking like. So a lot of the places where it's really holding itself up are actually growing into the underskirting of the roof and stuff. So that's a problem that I've got to get taken care of. And yes, it's kind of shameful that I've let it get that crazy and all, but I'm here now to deal with it. I care more about having my plants grow onto and in front of things than I do about actual structures. Structures are temporary, plants are forever. All right, now I shouldn't be growing things to the point where they can get into the house and the attic like this, but my first order of business is going to be to cut this poor thing back. I may have to do this in multiple videos so that it's not too long, but yeah, the biggest shame here is that I waited until now to get this started. I mean, it's anxiety. I'm an ADHD, probably autistic, anxiety-ridden person, and I've come a long way in, you know, fighting through the anxiety and dealing with things and being able to have some discipline to get things done and working on my executive function disorder with the anxiety. But some things just intimidate me so much that I don't get to them. So this is what this wisteria looked like a couple of weeks ago before it fully came out of dormancy, and it had a few little blooms on it. And of course, this is what we're dealing with now. And I've been waiting to show you guys in video like what I'm doing because, oh, it's been so tempting. Now I can do this since I'm here with you. But all of these long whips that grow, if you really want your wisterias to flower, you're supposed to cut them back very, very frequently. The trouble is that some wisterias are so incredibly vigorous that this is quite a daunting task. And last year I spent a lot of time doing this, and I feel like this plant betrayed me this spring in the way that it only sent out a few little tiny blooms, which, by the way, confirms to me that this is not the variety of wisteria that it was sold as. So this was sold as a specific variety called geisha on eBay. And as the wisteria matured and as it bloomed this spring, I finally was able to prove that it was not the variety that it said it was. That's very shameful and unfortunate, but I'm going to tell you this. You better not be banking on just the beauty of the flowers when you want to grow wisterias. You should really focus in on growing it for the foliage and the structure that it can provide, because it does do that. I mean, I love that this is almost like a tree directly on the house. That part I really love. The trouble is that it's so vigorous and fast growing that it can get a little out of hand if you're not watching it really carefully. So this is me making an attempt to get control over it again. I'm going to cut basically everything back to the main branches, which I think I'm going to do in the next section of this video, because this particular one is getting a little bit long, but I want to show you the basics, and then I may or may not do like a time lapse to show you all the actual process. But if you look at the so we've got our main trunk here and a few splitting trunks. I'm going to take everything that's like a part of the main trunks, and I'm just going to cut them way back, and it's going to reduce the size of things a lot here, and it's probably going to trigger a massive growth spike that I'm terrified of. But I'm going to try with you guys to kind of create an organization system for the branches. Like, if this was your only project, you were growing like one wisteria, it wouldn't be that hard to do that, to like have focus a lot of attention on it, keep the branches really organized and well pruned. But this is one out of probably 1,000 different little projects that I've got going on, and I don't look at every single one of those projects every day. So Some things just really get out of hand by the time I'm able to get some attention span and get back onto dealing with them. But for now, I'm going to do a little bit of this on video with you because I'm not sure if I'm going to have the attention span to do a time lapse. But as I said, basically I'm focusing in on kind of tracing back where these vines, where the biggest trunks kind of go to, and I'm reducing them as much as I can reasonably. And I mean, it's not gonna hurt the plant to do this. And see, this is another part of why it's so bad to wait this long to do this. There's the twining stems that really get up and twist around things. They are gonna fight me. And I'm gonna just cut them and run them through the mulcher. They mulch very beautifully, by the way. Wisteria puts up no fight with mulching. It's just a little bit hard to get the vines into the mulcher. Oh, this is gonna be so fun. I've gotta get a ladder out here. But hey, I'm starting somewhere, okay? I need to take a strong lesson from this though, to plan better for how things are going to attach to structures, because this is a mistake that I make quite frequently. And then what is my plan going to be for keeping them under control? Okay, I think this is going to conclude part 1 of this video. I'm going to come back and probably show you after trimming what things look like and what I'm going to do next. See you in the next one.